Okay, guys, I want to real quick go over the Addendum A for an all-cash offer. Okay, the Addendum A is what you use to, I call it the dummy disclosure. It's the disclosure that will keep you out of trouble. I want to just go over it paragraph by paragraph. Here you have paragraph 1. So this paragraph says, seller is aware that President Jennifer Rainey Investments, Jennifer Rainey Heritage, holds a valid real estate license, but in no way does Jennifer, Jackie, Jennifer's Homes, Jennifer Rainey Investments, or its affiliates represent the seller. So if you're licensed in any way, you need to make sure that you disclose. If you're a CPA, if you're an attorney, if you're a realtor, you need to disclose it, disclose the entities involved, and make sure that people understand that you're not acting in a professional capacity, that you are simply there as a principal. Number 2, you put your company name in place of mine, and you put, and its affiliates or professional home buyers buy and sell below houses below market value. It may seem simple, but for some reason people will seem shocked by it. You just want to disclose it up front, and it's in writing and part of the contract. Number 3 says that you'll pay all the normal closing costs for both buyer and seller, excluding any mortgages owed, tax liabilities, or real estate commissions agreed. Now, at this point, it's very, very important that you guys take note on this one simple thing. You need to make sure that this portion is completely understood. Tax liabilities. Make sure that, as George explained in the all-cash offer, make sure the seller understands they are responsible for the property taxes up to the day of closing. And you just tell them this simple story. You say, look, my partner bought a house for $40,000 in West Dallas one time, and there was a $40,000 tax lien against it, and the sellers thought he was going to pay that too. Now, it's only an $80,000 house, and there's no way I could have paid $80,000. Your partner could have paid $80,000 for it. That's a true story. Happened to me on a house on Espinosa in West Dallas. So you just get it out front and open, because what you don't want is to get down to closing and have someone bicker with you about $1,500, and because you didn't properly explain it, you end up giving in. You give $1,500, and that's ultimately, part of your profit. If you're only making $3,000, you're making, that's half your profit. So make sure they understand that portion. And then you want to get into, seller understands the house to be vacant at time of closing. Anyone still occupying the property must be removed by seller prior to closing. Now, you never leave that. You never delete that. This is one that you can make some changes to. Should seller need to occupy the property for a designated amount of days, where it says designated amount of days, you will put that in the temporary residential lease, which George will be covering after closing. And seller will sign a temporary residential lease, and $5,000 of the net proceeds will be held in escrow until which time the seller moves out and the house is vacant. So, very important, because I have had people walk away from this $5,000 because they did not want to clean the house out. I've had people walk away from this $5,000 and abandon the house and leave it trashed. That $5,000 is very important. It incentivizes them. I typically charge about $100 a day. I give them 7 days after closing. I charge them $100 a day. Your end buyer is going to be fine with that. He gets this $5,000 anyway, and that $5,000 typically will make people motivated enough to get out of the house. Seller agrees. Now, this is where you're going to gain access to market the property. Now, if you've learned from my audio, I don't actually go in and say, look, I'm going to try to sell your house, and I need to be able to show it. But what you're doing here is you're saying, look, you're going to have to provide me access for me to get everything in line to close on this house. Now, I'm not getting inspections, and I'm not, this doesn't change our deal, but I've got to be prepared for when we close. And if it's a vacant house, this is where you say, look, if it makes it easier, you can just give me a key and I'll put one of those realtor lock boxes on the house. And a lot of times they'll do it. And then the next one just gives you legal right to market the property. Seller hereby authorizes buyer to market and show the property prior to closing. So that prevents you ever being in trouble because someone wants to turn you in for marketing a house or some junk like that. Although you won't get in trouble, that one paragraph number right there will keep you from even having to really pay too much attention to it. And it also, if the seller delays and doesn't let you in the property to show it, it gives you a legal standing to go back and tell the seller, hey, look, I can't close on time because you didn't let me in the house and you didn't provide me access. So you get them to sign it, date it, and this is a paragraph that is in there because of a house that I bought that the seller listed it with the realtor the day before and then decided they didn't want to sell it through the realtor. And they called us. They hid the sign around the back of the house. We never saw it. Long story short, Trex said we did everything we needed to except have this paragraph in there. So it's in bold, all caps. And that right there, those things that's the dummy addendum, the Addendum A. It goes on an all-cash offer. I'm going to upload this right below this video, and you'll also find it in the document library. So, guys, that's the end of this module. And if you have any questions, just chat them below.